we made, but all right. Let's see if we can a little bit. How are you doing this morning?
Great.
Thank you all for coming out. I am Jordan Carlisle, and I'm one of the organizers here at 1 Million Cups, 1 Million Cups program. How many folks have never been to 1 Million Cups before? Awesome. Okay. So for those who have not been, real quickly, 1 Million Cups is a weekly program. We've got entrepreneurs come in and tell their stories. And through that experience, we learn a little bit about why they're passionate about what they're doing. What are the problems they're solving? Who is it solving that problem for? I'm talking about the solution, getting to the protocols, the things that had to overcome to build this thing out, and what are some of the successes we have to look forward to, or what are the current things we can champion in our community to help spread awareness about an entrepreneur that is working on the project. So real quick, how this happens though is that we have a group of organizers, that three of which are here. So I want to give a quick thank you to Nicholas Roper of C-Dots Media, doing our social media stuff, and we don't have it up here. Nicholas, can you tell us about, real quickly, how we can engage with all the social media, maybe specifics and what's that?
Okay, the difference for 1 Million Cups Little Rockets and 1 Million Cups LR, hashtag is hashtag 1MCLR. National hashtag is hashtag 1MC, and Joshua, his hashtag is at Joshua AYRES. It's not AYRES, I don't know why we do that, but I've seen it a couple times. So we'll look that up. So just engage that way, and I'll see it and retweet it, share it, favorite it.
Thank you, Nicholas. Also, for our organization, we have Susie Cowan, who, if you couldn't make it last week, she gave a wonderful presentation on her nonprofit Legends of Arkansas, which is an amazing force behind the festival, the Legends of Arkansas Festival, which is happening in September, and really enjoyed that. So thank you, and also Susie helps us kind of recruit and champion all the stuff we have going on. And if you ever had the tea that we put out, that's all that is there. It's really good and always goes really fast. Also, Mike Seeley, huge thanks to helping co-found the 1 Million Cups charter here, and this company is called Sparkpool, and so kind of have a nice entrepreneurial group of organizers that are the driving force behind that for those of you who've never been. Also, a quick shout out to our sponsors, the Venture Center for giving us boots on the ground efforts, and doing actually some of the organizational stuff that help us kind of set up and get the space ready every single week, and the Tech Park for giving us the awesome space, the Little Rock Regional Chamber of Commerce, who has just given us so much exposure since day one, and also helped us get started in their building across the street. And last but not least, everyone who comes week in and week out. So I see lots of faces in the crowd. There are tons of people involved in this effort that have been upwards of 30 sessions, and we've only been a year old, so we're a little over a year old. And if you think about that, that's a big chunk of the time when the Cups existed. And we've had people that have been here almost close to every single session. I know Mr. Calvin, he's somebody that you probably can't count how many times he's been. So we hope for you folks that you find a place here in 1 Million Cups to get engaged, to learn about entrepreneurs, and to maybe also help us champion entrepreneurial spirit in Little Rock. Also, if you are interested in presenting at 1 Million Cups, I don't think we do a good enough job of talking to you folks while you're here about that. It's really easy to get signed up. So if you go to 1millioncups.com and you do throw in the /Little Rock, it takes you to our site. It has the first thing on it is apply to present. And if you get on there, and it kind of has some stuff to read through about how to qualify, but we'll get you in the pipeline on the schedule to present. So if you're interested in presenting, it's simple as that. As soon as you apply, we'll send you a message and figure out what we can do for you. that's enough about how everything goes down. Now we're going to go into the why we're here, and that's obviously to hear the story of an entrepreneur. Quick kind of bragging. I actually realized the opportunity to bring this person in to present Woman and Cup because of their recent success at a pitch competition. So we're going to welcome, give a warm welcome to Cart Deliver, Joshua Cart Deliver, and he's going to tell us about how he's changing up the grocery store shopping experience. So a warm welcome to Josh.
Good morning. How is everybody?
Good.
Good. Well, my name is Joshua Ayers. I am the founder and CEO of Cart Deliver. At Cart Deliver, we provide same-day grocery delivery service from the store of your choosing to your front door in less time than, say, 3 hours. Imagine being able to take care of your entire week's grocery needs from the convenience of your smartphone or home PC in less time than it would typically take you to just check out at a grocery store. I started thinking about those possibilities, and I say, okay, I never have to go to the store again when there's bad weather. I just don't have to get out of the house when it's inclement weather. I don't have to brave traffic. I don't have to go to a congested parking lot and look for a spot. I don't have to take my 2-year-old through the store who's pulling off every box of sugary cereal and throwing it in the cart. I don't have to stand in that long line anymore with my toddler who's crying. I don't have to go to the store anymore during cold and flu season and put my hands on those carts that are just crawling with germs. When I'm on that diet, I don't have to go down that aisle and pass the Oreos and Chips Ahoy again that I know are going to jack me up. When I am sick, I don't have to get out of bed. When all I want to do is I need some cough syrup and some chicken noodle soup. Or it's a long day of work, which we all have, and all you want to do is be at home with your family. Cart Deliver delivers from the store to your door. That's what we do. So then the question is, why do we need this? And if we do need it, why isn't it being done, right? Let me tell you a little bit. This is my family. My wife Martha and I have been married about 14 years. Our son Evan is 11. Our daughter Lucy turns 9 tomorrow, and little Benjamin is the 10-month-old. I say this is our family on Facebook. We're smiling, we're happy, it's a pretty scene. But most days it's kind of more like the glum face or upset because we're in the car for 15 hours coming home, a crying baby. And me going, oh gosh, these are all pictures just from last week when we were on vacation, which is supposed to be tons of fun, right? This is just last week. But this is a normal day. And you're saying, well, where's my wife? Well, she's always beautiful and happy, and I'm happily married, and I want to stay that way. So there's not a picture right there. All to say, we need this service. Now, maybe you guys don't, but I found about 3 groups that I really think need this service, and we're one of them, which is busy families. Now, I get that there are people more busy than me. We've got 3 kids. We limit them to soccer and some school activities. I know people with 5 kids and people who have soccer and piano and ballet and whatever. Both my wife and I work. I can tell you right now, we're missing my son's orthodontist appointment because I'm presenting here. My mother-in-law was going to help drive. Her window was shattered in her car yesterday and it's in the shop, so we missed that. My brother and sister-in-law come to town today. My daughter's birthday is tomorrow. Life is busy, and we fit this first group. Busy families. We've got to get more done in less time. This is me when I came home from Colorado last week. That's my literal grocery bill, and that's just Walmart. That doesn't include my Sam's Club run. I spent 3 hours. I didn't want to. In fact, I tried calling one of my drivers for Cart Deliver. I tried, since we're just in pilot test right now, I don't want to overwhelm my drivers with my orders, but believe me, I want to use it. So I'm coming home from vacation, I'm in the car, we're in a traffic jam outside Conway, and I'm ready to have my order there at 8 o'clock tonight. We fit this group. The next group that needs this is the elderly. My neighbor across the street, 74 years old, very active, very still going, doing lots of things, got an infection and lost his leg from the knee down a year ago. He's suddenly gone from being very active to needing help in lots of ways, whether that's neighbors to help the lawn care, people who come and do grocery service. He suddenly found himself needing, it's not that he doesn't want to be out, but he's limited. The affluent, there's any number of things that we begin to trade time for money, and this becomes one more service. It's not extravagant, it's not something too out there, but yeah, outsource the lawn care, outsource this. This becomes a third group that says, yeah, we can afford to outsource that. So what are we doing about it? Is this my idea? No. In fact, this has been around for a very long time. Take a group like Peapod or Webvan, some of the biggest .com failures out there, extremely well backed, lots of good personnel and people behind them, and yet they weren't able to bring it to life. You've got lots of players in this space, so it strikes me a couple of things that seems rather audacious that I would think that maybe I can jump in the fray with these guys. But let me tell you a few things why. So it's not my idea, it's not original. But a couple of things I would point to is when you see groups like this that are in the same space of providing same-day grocery delivery, I hope that that lends credence to the idea. Believe me, these people do their homework. And I have too for about the last year and a half, a lot of research that indicates this is a really good space and it's really ripe right now for a number of reasons. So this is Walmart. 6 cities right now, they're providing same-day delivery to your door. Denver, Philadelphia, Boston, a few others. This is Bentonville, Arkansas. Pick up your grocery, you place your order online, and you drive to a, basically a little almost gas station looking thing. You schedule your time for 3:30. They've already picked your groceries for you. They're not bringing it to your home, but you just pull up and they bring it out to you. Has anybody been there to Bentonville and used this by chance? So I've had a number of friends up there say it's a great experience, very happy with it. This is Amazon Fresh. Amazon has begun to roll out. They started in San Francisco, Seattle. They're now expanding pretty much anywhere Amazon has fulfillment centers. But you think about that, that's a limitation for Amazon. We see Jeff Bezos on 60 Minutes and we're gonna have drones and this and that, and that is coming, absolutely. That said, those drones aren't gonna bring my bill of a grocery cart this big in 800 drones that it would take to come do that, right? Amazon is bound by their fulfillment centers. So they can do Dallas, they can do Seattle, Miami, they can't do Little Rock one day, they can't do Joplin, Missouri. Right? There's lots of the US that is nowhere within that one day range. Google Shopping Express is trying things in, well, basically the Bay Area, San Francisco, San Jose. I've spoken with people who use the service. They're trying to crack it. eBay did a program called eBay Now for about a year. They folded it in November of 2014. They were kind of a loss leader. They were doing $5 an order. See, everybody was trying different things. Amazon would have kind of like Amazon Prime. Did anybody use Prime? I used the heck out of Prime, right? We've got books and things coming all the time. So Amazon said, all right, we'll do something like that. And we'll set a yearly fee, $99 a year, $2.99. We'll try that. Then we'll do a minimum order quantity of $50, and then you just start getting stuff. Walmart said, we're not going to do minimum order quantity of 50, we'll do 35, we'll do no annual fee. Yeah, and everybody's trying to find how to do it. eBay was the loss leader, and they're already out of the game. They just said, we'll do $5 and see if we can make it work. They didn't. Instacart. Who's heard of Instacart? They're exciting / really burst my bubble a year ago. So again, knowing that I wasn't new to this wasn't my idea, and yet what I started getting excited about was I saw all these problems that were going on with those guys. In fact, let me jump ahead to a slide real quick. I'm going to show you before we do Instacart. Think of the Walmart, Amazon, Google, and eBay that I just showed you. This is, to me, the shared inefficiencies that each of them has. Heavy fleet of vehicles. I worked in grocery, Unilever, Procter & Gamble, Kraft Foods for over a decade, and I can tell you margins in grocery are extremely compressed. It's not a really valuable thing. That's why you have grocers that are continually vying for your dollar to get you in. So if they already have thin margins, how do you now add fleets of vehicles. That's millions of dollars in heavy assets. Now you're paying drivers millions of dollars. Insurance, and believe me, as I've been looking in just getting my pilot launched, the insurance is insane. Fuel. All of a sudden you look at all of these things and you say, okay, Walmart, you can scale this because 2/3 of Americans live within 5 miles of a Walmart. You're not like Amazon that would have to go build fulfillment centers everywhere. You have places all over, you're within 5 miles of people, and yet, you can't scale it profitably because all these completely eat into your margins. And then lastly, exclusive partnerships. So enter Instacart, they are doing crowd-based, essentially. They still have 1099 independent contractors, but they have crowd-based. They raised $44 million in 2014 to do as close to this model as I can tell you. My heart sank a little bit. They went through the Y Combinator program in San Francisco. They're great guys doing a lot of good stuff. 2015, they raised another $220 million. That says 210, it was actually ended up being 220. And then Forbes this year said they are the most promising company in America. You go, wow, I'm a little late to the game, but I'm still hopeful. Why? Why am I hopeful? Nobody's here in Little Rock. Nobody's servicing Arkadelphia or Conway. What I'm planning to do, and I realize I'm a little short on time, I want to leave time for Q&A. My model is using the crowd, the sharing economy. That is, so we're not investing in vehicles, drivers, insurance, fuel, like the big guys are. The next is our target market. Everybody's going after Chicago, San Francisco, New York, LA, and rightly so, because it's a land grab. Nobody's in there, so we're going for the big ones. There's early tech adapters, got it. I'm not. Whether it's for me living up in Bentonville country for over 20 years and drinking the Walmart Kool-Aid, maybe that's it. But Sam Walton started in more rural markets and mid-urban. So I'm going to do small to mid-tier cities. And then lastly was the cost structure. I believe, and I can get into it if anybody wants to talk about it, but I think it's a much more transparent model where people will be able to make that value equation. Now they may look at it and say, hey, for your grocery needs, here's your groceries and now here's your fee. And you might look at it and go, that's too much, that's exorbitant, I don't want to pay it. But it's a very clear, transparent action. With some of these others, you pay a yearly fee, then you pay a delivery fee, then you pay markup on all the items. Instacart marks up about 15 to 20% on every item. So by all means, order more items for your basket, right? So I think these are the things that are going to let me compete. Why now? And then I'll be done. 64% of Americans have smartphones. So Webvan, Peapod, some of these groups that had the idea long ago, had good backing. There are dynamics right now in our environment that make this very applicable right now. Public opinion. Think of Airbnb and Uber. I don't think public opinion 5 years ago, hardly anybody would say, yeah, I'm going to get into the back of an unmarked car in the middle of Chicago. No, they wouldn't. I know people today who forbid their university students from doing so. When they, honey, love you. You can't use Uber when you move to Chicago, you know. Airbnb. Hey, I'm going to go stay in some stranger's house. So now I'm sure it'll be fine. How many people go, are you crazy? Did they have the key? They show up at 3 in the morning and mug you or worse. Or on the other side of the equation, hey, Airbnb, I'm going to let a total stranger just come live in my house for a week. Yeah, I'm sure they won't do anything bad. I'm sure they won't smoke or have a party or bring their dog in. Are you kidding? Public opinion has changed very rapidly in the sharing economy space, and it's continuing to. The proof of concept is it's happening all over. Alibaba, Chinese Amazon company, if you will, they announced 2 weeks ago that they're going to bring same-day grocery delivery to Beijing, and they've committed $160 million in marketing just to do that. It's happening. The big players are going to push this forward, and so we will benefit from that wave of press and momentum without having to spin. And there are plenty of people, I bet people here in Little Rock who've read about, oh, look what Amazon's doing in Dallas. Oh, my friend lives in Chicago and got this great service. We will benefit from that wave of positive press. And then lastly, there's a land grab taking place. This is my information. I'd love to talk to anybody about it. Sorry if I ran over a little bit. We do have, I think, still plenty of time for Q&A, if I'm right. So I'll just open it up for any questions, comments, concerns
Lacey, the Smart Club, and my question is, how are you going to do this without the fleet?
Yeah.
Mentioned that you're going to do it without it.
Right, good question, Susie. So I always talk in terms of what we're doing for the pilot test and then iterations down the line. So there are a lot of things that I'm constrained by right now, but that I also hope to move towards. So in the interim, I've got drivers, people who have signed up, like an Uber driver who would say, I can do Mondays and Thursdays between 10 and 2. That's their time slot. Now that doesn't mean they're committed, they're still not on the hook. I just call you at that time and say, Susie, it's 10 o'clock on Monday. I've got this open order, do you want it? You say no. I go on to the next person, do you want to know? And eventually for the test, I'm that backstop who says, if my previous 3 drivers aren't, I'm going to drop whatever I'm doing and get the order out. In the long term, we really want to move to a model, and you think about what Uber does too, where you can rate drivers and riders. Both sides of the equation can rate each other and say, that Joshua here, is he dropping my groceries? He was here, and he looked bad, and he's scruffy, or whatever they say, that people are going to be able to rate each other, so that a new user who's concerned about, I don't know about this, a stranger showing up at my house, but as they click through and they look at users and they go, here's a driver, they've got 4.5 out of 5-star rating, they've got 48 positive reviews. Oh, and that review, that lady, their daughter goes to my school. Okay, I'll try this. So there's going to be a rating system. Right now it's a lot more manual, but where we're moving to is more of a platform where people can find each other and find a good rating. Does that help answer it? Okay. Anybody else?
There's currently a lot of traffic in American supply chains. How are you going to be developing the company as, the logistical aspects of America becoming more?
That's a good question. What's your name?
Grayson.
Grayson, thanks for asking. I don't know Grayson, but I feel like I owe you $5 afterwards. You're like I've planted you in the audience. I'll throw this out real quick. Uber entered the space, and here was the quote in Wired's Marcus Holton recently described the battle of logistics. The tech industry's boring sideshow has emerged as a central drama. And I read that, and I said, my degree was transportation and logistics. I'm a supply chain guy. One of my best friends and mentors over the last 20 years is a guy named Dr. Matt Waller. He's the current dean of the School of Business at the University of Arkansas Walton College. He's got his PhD from Penn State in logistics, and he's my guy. One of my clients I consult for retired from Walmart 2 years ago as the senior vice president of global logistics. This is who I have in spades that I would love to leverage. That said, Grayson, one thing I kind of want to pivot on. So how do you do it? It is congestion. Things are going, but I do think they're creative solutions. And my initial thought was I was going to head down this route. That really was what I thought I was going to do. We're going to show more efficient planning, pooling of orders, all kinds of things, and we're going to be smarter and beat the competition that way. Since I've pivoted a little bit off of that idea for a couple of reasons, and the primary one is liability. And so we're trying to find a way from insurance and everything else to find a way to create a platform where people find each other and find those lanes of shipping that make sense. But what else, Grayson, can I answer about that? Because I feel like I got excited about your question, but I didn't probably nail it like I needed to.
Going into what you said, then, how are you going to be forming these dependable lanes that are going to be coming up through small to mid-sized populated cities? Since there is a decrease in population, how can you assure that the customers are going to get reliable ground service?
Perfect. Thank you. That's helpful. Here's what I would finish. And again, very small test right now here in Little Rock, so can we scale it? I believe so. Here's why I think we'll have drivers. If I were to ask in the room right now, how many people think they've used the service, or if you were projecting America, I mean, is it 10%? Is it 5%? I'm building my model off 1%. I don't think this is high adoption, at least not initially. I think the big guys are pushing this forward, and in another 5 to 10 years, it's going to be far more mainstream. But right now, the models I'm building on are 1% of a population that is ready to say, how can I have a stranger come deliver to my house? I'm paying for it. I hope it's much higher than that, but my models are built off 1%. So then the question becomes really the supply side. The demand, I think, is going going to be fairly small. I think the supply side is going to be wide open. Think back to our election, November 14. There was a vote. Do we want to raise minimum wage to how much? $8.25. As I've been doing my grocery runs for now months and just tracking it, it took me 45 minutes. Here's what my driver would pay. It took me an hour and 20 minutes. Here's what my driver would pay. I would say I'm right now in the range of about $16 to $18 an hour of what my drivers would be pocketing. Now, while that doesn't guarantee a force, I would say at $8.25 as the minimum wage, there are a lot of people who I do believe will be ready to say, I'm not doing this full time. I'm not planning to have people who are saying, I want to spend 40, 50 hours a week doing this. But we do have lots of people who say, man, I've got 2 hours before I have to pick up my kid. I can't get a job now, but soccer starts here, it ends here. I've got 2 hours if I can go make $20. Absolutely. If I can do that 3 days a week while they're at soccer, and $60 a week to a family, that can go a long way. So I do think Grayson will have the demand side. There's a lot of, obviously, getting drivers and identifying. I've got some thoughts on that, but that's where I think we'll be able to fill the demand side.
So a taxi driver, I didn't like Uber.
No, absolutely. In fact, there's a guy named Michael Jordan. Funny, not Michael. You guys, there's a guy named Michael Jordan. Really good. A guy named Michael Jordan in North Little Rock area who drives for Uber, and I'm going to be talking with him soon. While I don't want to just go and say, hey, every Uber driver, you want to do this on the side, but that's a great point. I think there are already pockets of people who have gaps in their time, but have shown they're very interested in this space. I think that's a good partnership.
Hey, Madison. I guess I want to know about the drivers. Do you have or do you envision a screening process aside from baseline of the driver and user screening?
Right. So thank you for the question, Abby. I'm going to frame it in the same way that I did to Susie here, which is here's what I'm doing today in the test, and then this is kind of where I envision it going. For the test, I know everybody. It's my friend Natalie, I've known her for 20 years, our kids in school together. It's my neighbor Joe, it's me, it's whatever, right? So I feel very good about our driver pool right now. So if you were to get an order, I would say, hey, Susie, here's the person you cool with, and you can say, yeah. That's all very manual for me right now, but it's clunky, but it's happening. Where I envision this going, my initial thought was that it would be amazing logistics, it would be amazing customer service. Boy, we're going to train them, and not only will they go through this extreme vetting process, and that'll just be standard in the industry. Beyond that, I said, we're going to train them. They'll know how to pick out ripe bananas and ripe avocados, and they'll show up, and you're just going to go, this is the best produce I've ever seen. Kind of moved away from that for a few reasons. Where I think we're heading at is not only the rating system, but I almost think more of, and I want to be careful with saying this, but I'll throw it out there. Think of Craigslist. So, yeah, that's what I said. I'm going to think about it. I've told some people, I've said, in Craigslist, and they go, I think rapist when you say Craigslist. I said, I need a new analogy, and so that's not where we're going with it. I don't want crazy showing up at your door, but let me say this. In September, when our little guy was born, our little 10-month-old Benjamin, he was born October 4th. Well, September, we had to sell the Highlander and get a minivan, right? The day before I put it on Craigslist in Little Rock, somebody was shot in Little Rock over Craigslist posted. And I go, buyer beware, right? I'm going to schedule my meeting with my Craigslist buyer in the middle of the day at Whole Foods, and there are 100 people around. Now that doesn't solve everything, but Craigslist doesn't for a minute step in and go, yeah, we're taking liability for that transaction where that guy got shot. Not only that, the car, we're not vetting the car. Is it a limit? We are creating a platform that allows the community to find each other. And so while I don't know if that's long-term where it's going to go, Abby, that's at least my thought. In the interim, everybody I know feel great about us. They're vetted in that sense, and yet I don't know from a sustainability standpoint. My attorney, and I spoke about this at length, and he said, let's say you do. You require everybody to get vetted, and you go through it, and everybody has insurance, and everybody has this and that. Now all of a sudden, you've taken that on, and you said, we've got all this. Well, how often are you now checking to make sure their insurance is up to date? How often are you checking that they still haven't got a criminal record? How often are you checking? So you take on this mountain of administrative and other fees and things like that that I think will hinder the model. So if there's a way we can move forward, creating a platform where people find one another, they make their choices. They say, yeah, you've got 48 reviews, you're 5.5 star rating. I'm comfortable with trying that. So at least theoretically, Abby, that's where we're hoping to go.
Josh, my name's Mark. Two questions for you. The first being, you're capturing buyer behaviour, which is data, which is value. I'm interested to know what you do with that. And secondly, after the pilot, scalability and funding.
Okay, so the first is on capturing the data, what do we do with it, and then I'll actually repeat the second one. So, because I had 10 minutes, and even then I blew the 10 minutes, I didn't include this. Same-day grocery delivery is where we start. That is the day-to-day thing that we provide. But Mark, my vision, it really is a data company. It's a shopper insights company. When I worked for Procter & Gamble, Unilever, Kraft, we spent millions every year purchasing AC Nielsen data, IRI data, Kantar research, Planalytics, on down the line. And what I saw is here is a gap in consumer point of sale data that I think we're going to be able to capture that's unique. And so what I'm doing is creating a platform that is sustainable and profitable in same-day grocery delivery, but then turning around and monetizing the data in lots of ways. The example I use is I think about right here in the Arkansas River. We dredge that every year, right? Our tax dollars pay to have the river dredged so that barges can float by. So we pay a company to do that, and you'd say, well, that company is in the dredging service. Well, what do? They take all the gravel that they've just dredged, and they turn around and they sell it over here. That's what we're going to do. We've got a sustainable business model. It's profitable, and it's a great thing to get into. But our gravel is really data-rich insights that are far more valuable than the initial business. Would you repeat your second question, Mark?
Well, it's what happens after the pilot. What's your plan in terms of scalability and funding the business?
Sure. Thank you. So the where we go after the pilot is this. We're about to roll out Northwest Arkansas as well. However, one of the primary things I've learned from the pilot is my user experience stinks. It does. I've got a shell of a site that I spent some money on, and I spent some money on insurance, and I spent some money on legal counsel. But at the end of the day, my user experience stinks. So the last thing I wanted to do was push all of you towards it. In fact, there's part of me, I had the thing up there. I kind of didn't want to even put this on the slide because I don't want all of you going and signing up and going, this is really cool. We really do like that. And go, not so great. So what I'm doing right now, Mark, I've sent a request for proposal to 7 different development groups that are bringing back bids on what does a minimum viable app look like in web development, what I need to integrate at this point that I don't have on the site, an API feed that brings in a live grocery set so that as you're building your list, you can save that list. This is Mark's weekly list of 30 things, and now with a click of a button, it saved it, and so next week all you do is you uncheck, you go, oh, we don't need peanut butter, we don't need this, and now you're done. So I need that API feed to come in. I've got a couple of partner APIs that I think we're going to be able to build from, and then the second is the payment piece. Likely a group called Stripe. They do things for Instacart, for Lyft, or it's going to integrate the payment piece. So it'll all live on site. Right now we run it through PayPal. I show up at your house with my card reader and you swipe, which is fine. They've got a low cost per swipe, but it's not real scalable. So how we scale is we go to small to mid-tier cities in the 100 to 300,000 range. There's 204 US cities that fit that bill. And by the time the big guys are coming down and I'm coming up, I hope that every city we go to, we've iterated, we've gotten better. Our SEO, SEM is much more spot on. We know where to go and find drivers, users, and by the time we meet, hopefully we've got a better mousetrap or not. Now the funding piece, I'm actually, as of about 3 weeks ago, I moved into a kind of fundraising mode. And so I'm going to meet with investors and I'm talking with them about what that would look like. People that I have waiting in the wings, I'm the only person I consult by day to pay the bills, and so I'm still doing that. But I'm looking to bring on team members, but again, I can't say, hey, leave your good job, or we'll try and do this, right? So we're officially in fundraising mode and trying to move from there. Thanks for the question. Anybody else?
All right. Sorry, I think that's about all the time we have. Let's give it up for Joshua. So, we didn't have this up before, but if you found anything inspiring and you wanted to share this with the world on Twitter, these are the handles. So before we leave, let's make sure and get those last tweets up. And also, Joshua, I'm going to steal you away for just one more moment. What we do with every single one that comes to presenter is before you leave, we need to know what's the one thing you can do today. When we leave this building or we go and find our office space and sit down, what we can do to help you today.
Today, again, part of me would be tempted to say sign up and try it. You're free to do that, but the user experience thing. So I'm back to that. So what I would probably say is any support ideas, people who you think, angel investors, VCs that you think would be interested. It's very early stage, and I get that. But anybody who you think they're a developer and they'd be interested in hearing more about possibly coming on board, they are active in SEO and SEM, and those would be helpful contacts people to talk to.
All right. So if you got that, share it with the world. All right. Let's do it one more time. Okay, so real quick, we're going to do our kind of community roundup that we've been doing. Before we go into the Venture Center stuff, does anybody have any community events they'd like to talk about today? Say your name and
Lori, and we have happy hour tomorrow night at Dugan's Pub to raise money for vetting fees for Southern Falls Transport. So tomorrow night from 4 to 7, come on by.
anyone else? All right, Steve, would you like to come up and talk about Venture Center stuff?
Yeah, we have our regular mixer coming up August 11th, which I believe is next Tuesday, so that's coming up. You can go to venturecenter.co/mixer. And then we also have the 2 days to startup, which is coming up, and that is
August 21st.
21st. So in a couple of weeks, you can find that at venturecenter.co/2 days, and that's food and drinks are supplied, and you can sign up for that and find more information there.
Did you say Metro Training?
Metro Training is August 18th, so if you're interested in becoming a Venture Center member or mentor, please take advantage of that August 18th.
Okay.
Yes.
Pre-accelerate.
Pre-accelerate. They
I know that, then I'm done.
All right, me too. Anybody else have anything? I know that there's 100 girls.
Sure.
Code
Oh, yeah, it's sold out.
that's sold out.
But if you're interested, like helping to go around and mentor the girls, probably buying stuff, maybe they can help with buttons.
Okay, real quick, give us like a couple one-liners of 100 girls.
So 100 Girls Code is, this is our second one that we're doing, and it's at the Innovation Hub. It's basically a group of girls that are between like 10 and 18. They're middle school, like high school age, and it's basically running through like different introduction to programming. Teach them, last time we talked was data programming in Scratch, and then we have an intro to HTML and CSS, and we're looking forward to it. So like, if you're interested in being involved, we're going to do it again, so certainly let me know. Getting contact for it. You know, a little more about the newsroom today next Tuesday. Paul Gower over there speaking, actually, on some JavaScript stuff. Direct.
Data yeah.
Data stream, so yeah, we'll have.
Mobile development.
Yeah, LRD.org, and Blue Archive Fest is October 16th, and so check that out at LRDFest.com.
Awesome. Does anybody know the date for Day by View?
October 1st.
So October 1st, and there's also a conference called Day by View, which is slowly becoming one of the most like best kept secrets in the kind of web conference world. So that stuff, check that out. Anybody else have any Venture Center has their co-working Wednesday, so if you would like to grab some space, over I think space back behind where we're hanging out right now, and coffee's warm. And if you have any questions about the space, if you're new, find Venture Center person, don't raise your hands. Okay. And other than that, have a wonderful day. We'll see you guys next.